pick up my guide. Got a tracking job for you.
We're out here riding in the open. Why did we come this way? A little bit of torture first.
I'll find them. You kill them, you owe me nothing.
Oh, Jeff in Las Vegas. Good morning.
Jeff, I saw the Golden Knights up there. I'm a big hockey fan, so.
Oh, yeah, really? I am too now, believe it or not.
I play hockey still.
I was one of those guys, I'm a Las Vegas native, saying, are they out of their minds? Hockey will never work in Las Vegas. And my first game that I ever went to was their first year when they cinched the Pacific title.
Yeah. Well, it helps if you're a winner, you know?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, man, this town's on fire with the Golden Knights. It's just crazy.
I know.
So, yeah, we're proud of them. I'm no longer a poser. I'm a true fan.
If you see Mark Chinook, who's the in-house sort of host of the arena, he was in one of my movies years ago. Go up and say hello to him. Tell him you interviewed Mike Feiffer.
Oh, no, I will definitely. Well, thank you for joining me today to talk about Catch the Bullet. I'm a Western fanatic, so it's so cool to talk to somebody who makes Westerns. And so let's start about the story. This is essentially a story of revenge, isn't it?
Well, it's
from
revenge.
one point.
Well, it's Jed's revenge on Britt to kidnap his son and torture his son, knowing he's torturing Britt, and to draw Britt in. It's also a father-son story. It's also, there's various elements in there with Chaska, played by Cody Jones, and Tucker, the deputy who's trying to become a man. There's lots of pieces in there, and I have to hand it to Jerry Robbins, who wrote the script, because honestly, I mean, I'm a writer too. And I always feel like writers don't get enough credit because, all of this germinates from Jerry's mind, and Britt McMaster's, that lead character is really, I think it's part of Jerry too. So
was there much discussions about Jed Blake, about how evil he was going to be? Because when you turn to shooting children, I mean, he really hates your villain. So I thought it was pretty cool. It was very Once Upon a Time in the West, Yep. So I just thought that was a cinch to show what kind of person Jed Blake was.
Yeah, I mean, I think that Gatlin Griffith, who played him, I think that he had to embrace it fully, or else it's not going to work. And there was a moment we were shooting in the beginning, it was one of the first scenes, and Gatlin had to get up in the faces of his kind of partners in crime there and really give it to them, like he might shoot them or kill them. And Gatlin was a little hesitant at first. I'm like, no, you got to get in their face. You got to grab them. They've got to feel like you might kill them at any moment, I mean, what's interesting about the Old West is not only did everybody have a gun where you could kill, but to get caught and go to jail is very rare, mostly if you're killing them out in the open prairie somewhere, and nobody's going to talk. So you are prone to sudden violence. And I think that Gatlin really, he took it in as trying to find the human element of this character and what drove him crazy, and really use that to be the catalyst for how he's going to behave throughout the whole film. And you remember, we shoot movies out of order. So, it's hard to find that arc. And I think I hope you think Gatlin did a great job with that.
Oh, absolutely. And, and the character of Jed Blake, even his own gang were like, why are you dragging this kid across the plains? Let him on the horse. He was just a cruel person. So it drove me crazy that they were literally dragging this kid across the plains.
It was fun. Now, just so everybody knows, the kid was holding the rope in his hand. So we had stuff wrapped around his wrist and he was holding it. So,
movie trickery.
I don't know if there's a drone shot in the movie where the kid escapes and he runs across the desert, and Mason has to run across the desert. And I said, Mason, just run. I mean, we're standing on this mountain and you could see for miles and miles and miles. I'm like, just keep running. And when the drone is over your head and goes past you, that's when you can stop. And Mason looks at me, he's like, really? I'm like, yeah. When I say action, go run. So we get the drone up, and I say action. Mason runs down the hill and just runs across the desert, running. And the drone's going. I'm trying to hold back the drone because I want to get that shot from behind and then going over him. And I'm sure Mason's like, when is that thing going to come? When is it going to come? Because, we didn't abuse Mason, but there's times when Mason had to really dig in and really get dirty and climb hills and run across the desert. And it played into, though, he loved it because Mason's a really quality kid actor, and he's going to be a great actor when he grows up too and becomes a man. And I think Mason embraced that, you know, and it became method for him, which is great.
And some of your actors, I'm sure had experience on horses, and but was there any kind of cowboy boot camp, learning how to ride a horse, handle a gun, or?
No, everybody was hired because they're horse riders. So I've had experiences on movies before. You audition and, you say, have you ridden a horse? And they say, yeah, my grandfather had a farm in Dallas or whatever. And then you get them to set and they can't ride a horse to save their lives. And it drives me crazy and it's very dangerous. So all of them, the reason why Gatlin and his brother Calder, the number one reason why they played Jed and Tucker is because the two of them are expert horsemen. Their father, Tad Griffith, is an expert horse wrangler, stuntman, stunt coordinator. And the guys have been doing stunts on horses their entire lives. And I needed to have people who could ride horses. Jay Pickett, who unfortunately passed away. I don't know if in that story, but Jay's a good friend of mine. Jay plays Britt McMasters. Jay was my first choice and really my only choice for it because he's been in 15 movies of mine. He's a brilliant actor. But also, he's a rodeo guy from Idaho. He grew up doing rodeo. And in fact, we shot a contemporary Western in Idaho in his home called Soda Springs. And Jay's an expert horseman. Jay's brother, D. Pickett, is even in the Rodeo Hall of Fame. So, and then the other guys in the movie, they're all also expert horsemen and actually wranglers by trade and stuntmen, stuntmen and actors like Adisher Radpour, who plays Blade. Not only did he play professional polo for 27 years, he was the Trojan who rode the white horse out at the Coliseum before USC games. And Adisher's also, he's in The Mandalorian and he's in the new Obi-Wan Kenobi movie and our TV show. So you're talking about a guy with horse experience, with stunt experience, and lesser acting experience, but because they're so comfortable on horses, the guys can really do their thing and act. When you have an actor who's not comfortable on a horse, they're not good. They're not as good as they could be. They're good, but they're not as good as they could be. These guys are all comfortable.
And when you watch a Western, it's probably one of the toughest genres to shoot. I mean, shooting on location, the wrangling of the horses, there's so much responsibility in literally bringing things to a remote location, right? So was there challenges on this shoot?
The shoot actually was sort of magical, honestly. It all fell into place amazingly. So the reason we shot in Wyoming for two reasons. One is Tom Skerritt, it was during COVID, and Tom didn't feel comfortable traveling to Los Angeles, where Peter Sherayko, who plays Mr. York in the movie, and Peter Sherayko was Texas Jack Vermillion in Tombstone. He's also the costume designer and production designer. We didn't shoot now. Normally we'd shoot in Los Angeles. So Tom Skerritt felt more comfortable in a place like Montana or Wyoming. Then Kevin McNiven, who's my head wrangler, who's also plays Cass in the movie, and he owns all the horses. He lives in Lander, Wyoming, and all the horses are in Wyoming. So first we shot in Wyoming for those two reasons. But then I found the TA Ranch. I don't know if it was Kevin or someone else who recommended the ranch. I think it was Kevin. And Kirsten Giles, who runs the ranch, and her family. The ranch is this amazing compound. Everybody has their own room, their own bathroom. They have a cookhouse with a restaurant. Kirsten and her family cooked all the food for us. We'd come in for breakfast in the morning. We'd go off and shoot for 12 hours. We'd come back and have dinner together and hang out and tell stories. And it was epic. And the weather was amazing. In fact, 2 days after shooting, it snowed in Buffalo, Wyoming. And we went to it was cold and snowing. It would have changed everything. Continuity would have gone out the window. So it was really a magical time. And it all came together really well. It wasn't difficult, I have to say. I'm also used to shooting Westerns. I've shot a lot of Westerns, and so are all my guys. So it made it quite easy.
I think you would have shot in any state just to secure Tom Skerritt for your movie, right? He was so great. What a legend.
Third time he's worked with me, and he's just, some actors they just know how to embrace it and bring that texture. Mostly a pro like Tom Skerritt, and Peter Facinelli, fantastic. That was my first time working with Peter. So I hope watching the film, you feel like it all came together.
It did. And it's bittersweet with Jay Pickett. Yeah, I did know about that. And what a great last performance, and I'm sorry for the loss for all the crew there too. But
I love Jay like a brother, and we've known each other for years and very close. We made movies together, produced them together.
Well, congratulations on a great Western, and thanks for talking to me today, and come visit us in Las Vegas.
I love the backdrop you did there.
Oh, thank you. Got to get in character.
Yeah. And the movie's playing in 28, 30 theaters across the country. So the more people go see it, the more they support Westerns, and the more that the movie will play wider screens and people.
I'll get the word out, Michael. We need more Westerns. I love them. I can't keep watching the same ones.
I got 2 more coming after that one too.
We'll talk again soon then. Promise me.
Thanks. Good talking.
Take care.
You too.